All right, so it's important to know these syllabus objectives so you know exactly what you need to learn under this topic. So this PowerPoint, I posted it already. There's on completing the square, quadratic graphs, and nature of roots, right? When they say nature of roots, they mean discriminant. So yeah, that's not what we're doing though. We're doing completing the square and we're doing the quadratic graphs. So these are the objectives. To express the quadratic function ax squared plus bx plus c in this form, this is called the completed square form, right? Where h and k are constants to be determined. So, right, I'll show you what I mean by that when we move on. Determine the minimum and maximum values and the range of quadratic functions by completion of the square. I'll show you that. And then sketch the graph of quadratic functions, including maximum and minimum points and the intercepts on the axis. So these three objectives, that's what we're doing, right? Completing the square. There are two ways, actually. Yeah, two ways to complete the square. There's this shorter method where you have these two formulas and you just substitute your values, or I'll show you the longer way when we get there. But there are two ways. Just remember that for now. Completing the square. When completing the square, the aim is to express the quadratic function ax squared plus bx plus c. So I need you to remember, I don't think you were here when I did quadratics, but this here, ax squared plus bx plus c, that's the quadratic form. And what you're doing, what you want to do is express this, the quadratic form, into this form. And this form is known as the completed square form, right? That's the whole purpose of completing the square, to write the quadratic form in this form. This form is known as the completed square form. To complete the square, you need to find the constants h and k by using the following formula. So these are two formulas you would have to remember. That's if you decide to do this method, right? So the value of h would be b divided by 2a, and then k is 4ac minus b squared on 4a. So what exactly do they mean by a, b, and c? What are they talking about when they say a, b, and c? Well, you need to recall from quadratics, a, when they refer to a, they mean the coefficient of x squared. What do I mean by coefficient? You see, hold on, you see the number that comes right before x squared? So say my quadratic was 2x squared plus 4x plus 1. You see the number that comes right before x squared? So in this case, it's 2. 2 comes right before x squared. This is my value of a. So I would say a is equal to 2. B now is the coefficient of x. What do I mean by the coefficient of x? The number that comes right before the x. So you see x here? The number that comes right before the x, that's my value for b. So b is equal to 4 in this case. And c is just the constant, right? So whatever number you see here, that's c. In this case, it's 1. So c is equal to 1. A is 2, b is 4, c is 1. Just for this particular example, right? I just wanted to show you how to identify A, B, and C. You following so far?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So now that we have that out of the way, I like to give you steps on exactly how to do something, right? So this is how you complete this way, using this method. If they gave you this quadratic, so 3x squared plus 2x plus 5, the first thing you want to do is determine what A, B, and C are, right? And we just went through that. A is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and then c is just the constant, so whatever number you see there, right? In this case, a, remember, a is the coefficient of x squared, so whatever number you see before x squared, that's my value for a. In this case, look x squared here, I look to see what comes right before x squared, and I see a 3. That's why I said a is equal to 3. Now for b, I said b is the coefficient of x. What do I mean by the coefficient of x? Whatever number you see coming right before the x. So I see x here. I see x here. Whatever number comes right before the x, that's my b. B is 2. And then remember, c is just the number here, right? And I see 5, so c is 5. That's the first thing you want to do when using this method to complete the square. Identify what a, b, and c are. So I have a is 3, b is 2, and c is 5. What you're going to do now is using the formula that you know that you have. H is equal to b on 2a, and k is equal to 4ac minus b squared on 4a. These are just two formulas you need to know, right? We can use these formulas to find the values of h and k. How do we do that? You see these values that we got, the values for a, b, and c. All I have to do is substitute it into my formula. So I see that, okay, let me actually go on the board and write this, because I feel like it would be better if you see me do it. So let me just write down the values of a, b, c. Right. We found out in the first step, a is equal to 3, b is equal to 2, c is equal to 5. And we said we need to find the values of h and k. What formula do I know for h? Well, I know that h is equal to b on 2a. A. And I told you to find h, all I have to do is substitute these values into my equation. So the formula says h is equal to b divided by 2a. I know from my first step that b is equal to 2, so I'll put 2 here, divided by 2, multiplied by a, and we said that a is 3. So this is what I would write, and you just simplify. So this is 2 on 6, but of course I can reduce this fraction to a 3. And this would be my value of h. You following so far?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so that's my value of h. Now, how do you find k? That's the question you should ask yourself. Remember, the aim is to find the values of both h and k. So now that we know h, we need to find what k is. And this is the formula to find k. K is equal to 4ac minus b squared divided by 4a. So remember, these are just some two formulas you have to learn off, right? And it's actually, even if you are going to show you a second method to do completing the square after this, right? But even if you decide to do the second method, it's important for you to know the formulas for h and k, because sometimes they test it in the multiple choice. When we start going through multiple choice questions, paper 1, I mean, you would see that they actually ask you what the formula for h and k are. So it's important that you know them, even if you want to use the longer method, right? Okay, back to this. To find k, all I do, substitute my values from the first step. So 4ac. We know that a is 3. So I put 3 here. C is 5. I put 5. Minus b squared. We said that b is 2. So this is 2 squared divided by 4a. And we said a is 3. All you have to do now is simplify. So there's space, I don't think I have space. So just continuing up here, right? 4 by 3 is 12, and then 12 by 5, that's 16. Minus 2 squared is 4. And this is divided by 4 times 3, which is 12. So that is 56. 56 divided by 12. But of course, you can't just leave it as 56 divided by 12, because if you can reduce a fraction, you should reduce it, right? And this is 14 on 3 if I reduce this fraction. That's why this right here, 14 on 3, that is my value for k. You following so far?
Yes, miss.
That was 1%. Wait, who told me yes?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So what was the purpose of me doing that? You might be wondering. Well, can I clear the screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So you might be wondering, what was the purpose of that? Why did we have to find the values of h and k? So let me get. We said that h is equal to a third. We found out that h is a third, and that k is equal to 14 on 3. Why did we have to find h and k? Well, we said they want us to write this in the completed square form. And I told you from the PowerPoint that this is the completed square form. Ax plus h all squared. Oh my. All squared plus k. This is known as the completed square form. They want us to write it in completed square form. So what do we do now? Well, it's very simple. We already found out that a is equal to 3. Remember, in step 1, we already identified a to be equal to 3. And then we calculated that h is a third and k is 14 on 3. So all you do now, you just substitute your values. So I said a is 3, so I'll put 3 here. In brackets, you put back x plus h. We said h is a third squared. And we said that k is 14 on 3. So that's plus 14 on 3. And this right here, this is your answer. And you'll get all your marks for that. How was that?
Miss, that was easy.
Easy.
Nice, nice. That's why I like to show you this method. The other one, it's not that bad, but this one is simple. So let me ask you a question. Wait, both of you did this topic already?
Miss, I did it in school, but with like another method.
Oh,
And I wasn't really understanding that one.
okay. Toria, did you do this?
Yes, miss.
Did you do this method?
Yes, miss, and I did another one.
Okay. Well,
Miss, when you substitute the h into our equation to get k.
equation to get k. Interesting. Okay, let me show you the other method, the longer one. And you could choose it. If you decide to do this method or the longer one, you'll get your marks. But I think most people would prefer the other one because it's fairly simpler, you know? So let me just show you the other one. They gave you the quadratic. What was it? It was 3x squared plus 2x plus 5. So this one now, I didn't even put this on the PowerPoint because I feel like I would confuse people with this. But this one, it requires your coefficient of x squared. So the value of a, this number right here, this particular method requires this value to be 1, right? So how am I going to get this value to be 1? Well, you have to take out the 3. So that's plus 213 x plus 5. This particular method requires the coefficient of x to be 1. And that's why I had to take out the 3, right? Okay, next step. Wait, you understand what I did there?
Yes, miss.
Means you just like what? Divide all of them by 3.
So let me just write that up. X squared plus 2x plus 5. Remember I said I want this value in front of my x squared to be 1. So what you're supposed to ask yourself is, how am I going to get that value to be 1? Well, I need to get rid of this 3 right here. And how would you get rid of the 3? Well, you divide it by 3. So I divide this by 3. But you can't just divide this by 3 and then leave the rest. No, you have to divide everything by 3. These 3's are cancel. And that's how I get this. X squared plus 213x plus 5. You good so far?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now we get a little complicated. But don't worry. Be good. So, what am I going to do? It's x squared plus b on a x plus b on 2a squared. I need to, okay, let me erase this. See how complicated this is compared to the other one? This is why I don't even bother trying to show people this one. I don't even bother trying to show people this one, because you see the minute they see all of that square and divide by whatever, they don't want anything to do with that, right? So that's why I just don't show this method. But if you want me to show it to you, I will show it to you. Okay. Hold on. All right, let's continue. So this is the rule for this one, which is a headache. It's the x squared plus b on 2x plus b on 2a squared, oh gosh, minus b on 2a squared plus c. So you see this? This headache. Anyways, let me substitute all the values. So let me substitute the values. X squared plus 8. Why did I have b on 2? B on 8. My bad. B on 8. So that's 2 on 3 x plus b on 2a. This is gotcha. Anyways, b on 2a squared. So that's half of this, which is 2 on 1 6. I'm not even doing this right. Yes, it's half of that. No, it's half of that squared. So yes, okay. Which is 1 on 3. Okay, but I mean, minus 2 on 6 squared plus 5 This is why I don't like to show this method, because it's not very, oh my, anyways. You want me to continue showing you this method, or you just want me to stop doing this and we continue with the H and the K and practice questions using
Yes,
that
we
method?
can continue the H and the Q.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because anyways. So you just find your H, you find your K, substitute your value, and you're good to go. You don't need to go through all of that headache, okay? You do the simple way, you get your marks, nobody can tell you anything. Hold on, I think I have questions here. But let's not do that. Let's do the past paper questions. I posted this on Google Classroom. So let's not start with one like that. Let's put, right now we're just practicing completing the square, right? Then I'll show you how to do
Yes,
graphs. So this one.
miss, you just pass one with like this. You know the alpha and beta thing. That one number 2, miss. What is that? What is that one about?
Oh, you didn't do alpha beta yet?
Well, miss, I don't quite understand. I think because I didn't understand like the square part at first, like the completing the square, so everything kind of seem, you know.
Okay, okay. But that's not a problem. I can go through that with you after we do this one. After we do finish completing the square and the graphs, I can do it.
Okay, thank you.
So just do this one for me. It's the same steps. So just write down the year, number 2, A, part 1. And I'll actually do this one with you first, and then I'll let you try another past paper question on your own. So just write it down, write down the question, and let me know when you finish so I could go through it with you on the board. Because wait, I need to write down the question. I didn't even write it. So it's minus x squared plus x minus 3, and then so all you need to do, follow these steps I showed you, and these questions, easy, very easy. You just reading, follow the steps, get your marks, easy. So these are the steps. Remember, the first thing you want to do when completing the square, step 1, identify what A, B, and C are. Remember, follow these steps, right? Just follow these steps and you'll be good to go. So what's the quadratic that they gave us? They told us that minus x squared plus x minus 3. And they said that's equal to g of x, but I'm not even gonna write that. You don't have to write that down. I just want you to write down the quadratic expression and then identify A, B, and C. Looking at this, could any one of you tell me what's the value of A?
This A is -1.
Okay, what's B?
1.
1.
And C is -3.
So first step, identify A, B, and C. You finish it up. Cool. Second step, it's the second and final step now. You need to find your H and your K and just substitute it into a completed square form, right? Completed square form. H and K. Formula for H is B on 2A. So all I have to do, take my values from this first step, values of A, B, and C, and substitute it into my formula, So this is equal to, we said b is 1, so that's 1 divided by 2 times a, which is minus 1. This is going to give me minus a half. So now I know h is minus a half. Okay, I do the same thing. I just take my formula and substitute the values. This is 4ac, this is minus b squared, and this is all divided by 4a. All you have to do, substitute the values. So this is equal to 4 times a, which is minus 1, times c, which is minus 3, minus b squared. B is 1, so we know 1 squared is 1, right? So just put the 1 here. And then 4a. So that's 4 times minus 1. And all I have to do now is simplify this to get my value of k. So let me just go up here. 4 times minus 1, that's minus 4. And then minus 4 times minus 3, that will give me 12, right? Because the minus and a minus is going to give me plus. Minus 1 divided by 4 times minus 1 is minus 4. Therefore, my value of k is minus 11.4. You understand how I got minus a half and minus 11.4?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss. Miss, I was always wondering why it wasn't like 11 over minus 4.
Oh, it means the same thing.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, it doesn't matter where you put the minus sign. It means the same thing. I could put the minus sign up here. I could put it down here. It don't matter.
Okay, miss.
So, can I erase this?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
So, I clean up the whole thing, right? Very no. Okay. Now that I know my values of h and k, h is equal to minus a half, k is equal to, so just so you don't get confused, I would put the 11 and minus 4, right? But just remember, it means the same thing. So you can write it like this, right? Nobody's gonna penalize you for that. So I have h and I have k. Remember, the completed square form looks like this. A x plus h squared plus k. We said from step 1 that our value for a was minus 1. All I have to do now, taking these three values and substitute it into the completed square form. So what would I get? A is minus 1, so I'll put minus 1. X, h is minus a half. So this is minus a half squared. K is this, right? So and this right here is your answer. That's all you had to do. Let me just make one thing clear though. See this minus 1 here? You didn't have to write minus 1. If you wanted to, you could just write it like this instead. Negative x minus a half squared minus it's the same thing. I just removed the 1, right? So you could write it like minus 1 and then this, or you could just put the negative sign. Means the same thing. So you good with this?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now it's time for you to try one by yourself. You think you could do that for me?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
It's easy enough, right?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Do this one for me. This is, gosh, what year is this? 2019, number 2. try this one for me. Let me know when you finish.